Ladies and gentlemen of the House, taking a moment to breathe it in a little bit. For me, I wasn't content initially with just small steps. I was blinded by the need to make decades of progress in a week. But then I thought about when I was watching my 3-year-old learn to walk. And it was interesting because I watched her stand up and fall and stand up and fall, and I covered every corner of my house with my hands so that she didn't hit her head. But then she figured it out. And once she started walking fast. And once she started walking fast, she started to run. Once she started to run, she would not stop sprinting and jumping around my house. But it took that first small step. That small step was not insignificant. So for me, some things are bittersweet. This is one of those situations for me, one of those moments. I'm heartbroken by the injustice that has plagued our country for generations. I'm here to acknowledge and inform you all that the work ahead of us is plentiful and it's tough. But I have so much hope. I'm hopeful because in this time in Iowa, we stepped up to make real change. At a time where we could have taken our ball and gone home, we didn't. The process for me has been one that's been maturing. You see, Governor Reynolds, Speaker Grassley, Leader Pritchard, this not-so-young kid from Waterloo was so focused on the policy that I nearly missed the growth in this chamber. Representative Holt, our ability to have backbench discussions about race have progressed. I'm glad to have your support on this legislation, but even more importantly, I'm excited to work with you to improve the profession that you love. You know, as a body, by default, we have committed here today to shouldering a burden to ensure that George Floyd or the scores before him doesn't take place in our state, not on our watch. These past few months have been really, really difficult for some of us. It's been a really difficult time in the history of our planet. But on this day, with everything that makes us different, that doesn't even make a difference, on this day in this body, the sunlight shines a little bit brighter. And it shines brighter because not only of the work that we're doing today, but it's illuminated the path towards our nation's greatest promise of liberty and justice for all people. I invite you all to join with me in this historic day for Iowa by voting yes on the plan to a more perfect union and in a symbolic gesture of unity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Those are my comments.
The gentleman from Blackhawk moves the bill be read for the last time and placed on its passage. Are there objections? Hearing none, the clerk will read.
House File 4675, a bill for an act relating to peace officers, including certification, training, prosecution of peace officers, and the use of chokehold by peace officers, and including effective date and retroactive applicability provisions being enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Iowa.
The question now is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of its passage shall vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk open the machine and receive your vote? Abdul Samad votes aye. Thiede votes aye. Smith votes aye. Gaines votes aye. Wilburn votes aye. Bossman votes aye. Have you all now voted? The clerk will close the machine. The House will pay attention to the results of the vote. Those voting aye, 98. No, 0. Absent or not voting 2. The bill having received a constitutional majority is declared to have passed the House. Are there objections to the title? The chair hears none, and the title is agreed to.